All right, let's get into it. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on a really, really smart piece of code. It's a script that takes the headache out of creating IT tickets, and we're going to break down exactly how it works, what makes it so special, and what we can all learn from it.
So think about it for a second. Here's the problem we're trying to solve. You've got a user, they're in a chat window, and they type something like, "Hey, my laptop is running super slow." How do you take that simple message
and turn it into a perfectly formatted, correctly categorized IT ticket inside a system like ServiceNow and do it every single time without a human having to touch it? I mean, that sounds kind of like magic, right?
Well, spoiler alert, it's not magic. It is just some fantastic engineering. And this script is the blueprint that shows us exactly how it's done. So let's get into the code.
Okay, first up, anatomy of an action. Let's look at the brains behind this whole operation.
The beauty of this script is how it breaks the whole thing down into 4 really clean, logical steps. First, it tells the user what it's doing. Then, it actually talks to the user to get the info it needs. After that, it does the heavy lifting, creating and sending the ticket. And finally, it comes back and shows you the result. Simple, elegant, and super effective. Now, the secret sauce here are these 2 special functions that OpenWebUI provides. The first one, Event Emitter, is kind of like a live progress bar. It sends messages back to the user like, "Okay, working on creating your ticket." But the event call function, whoa, this is the really cool one. It literally pauses the script and asks the user a question. It opens up a real conversation. And that brings us to our next section, the interactive experience. Because this isn't just a script, it really acts more like an assistant. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The source material we're looking at today specifically calls this out as a standout feature. The fact that this script can guide a user instead of just hoping they type the perfect command is a total game changer.
And this right here is the absolute key. Instead of trying to use AI to guess if my laptop is slow, is a hardware problem or a software problem, the script just asks. It pops up a little menu and says, "Hey, which team should this ticket go to?" This completely eliminates the guesswork and makes sure the ticket gets to the right people from the get-go.
All right, so the script has talked to the user and it knows what to do. How does it actually build the request and send it over to ServiceNow securely? Let's check it out.
First things first, security. The script is smart enough not to have things like passwords or API keys hard-coded right in the file. No way. Instead, it uses a feature called vals. You can think of this as a secure little control panel where an admin can plug in all the sensitive info, keeping it totally separate from the code. This is a huge best practice.
And this table perfectly shows off the script's intelligence. It's not just a dumb form filler. Based on what the user picked earlier, it dynamically builds the API request. So you see, if it's a cybersecurity issue, it doesn't just send it to the right group, it also changes the category to security and even flips a switch to flag it as a security incident. Now that's smart automation.
And finally, it's time to actually send the request. But it doesn't just fire it off and hope for the best. The code is wrapped in some really solid error handling. It's ready for network problems, it knows how to check for specific error messages from ServiceNow, and only when it gets the all clear does it grab that new ticket number from the response.
So let's zoom out a bit. What can we take away from this? Let's look at this script as a blueprint for writing our own production-ready code. The source analysis gives us this really clear scorecard. The strengths are obvious, right? It's interactive, the code is clean, it's secure, the error handling is great, but if we were going to run this in a massive, high-traffic environment, there are a couple of ways we could level it up even more. And these improvements are really about taking it from great to truly enterprise grade. Using asynchronous requests means it won't get bogged down if lots of people use it at once. Moving those system IDs into the valves configuration makes it way easier to manage down the line. And for top-tier security, pulling passwords from a real secrets vault is the gold standard. But at the end of the day, after all that clever logic and security and robust code, this is what the user sees. A simple, clean, satisfying message that says, "Hey, we got you, it's done," and really, that's what this is all about. This script is just a perfect example of turning a clunky, manual task into something seamless and intelligent. It's a fantastic blueprint. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What's that annoying, repetitive process in your own workflow that's just begging for a little bit of this automation magic?